Hi everyone, my name is Adrian from Navarro y Asociados, and today we'll be talking about the Pensionado visa and why it's the most popular visa currently in the country, especially if you're planning on moving to Panama and getting your permanent residency. This is actually, as long as you have a pension, this is the easiest way to obtain it. And let's be honest, up to last year, the Friendly Nations visa program used to be the most popular visa program in the country, but since last year in August 2021, the government decided to change the rules for it, and now you have to go through a extra step, which the applicant needs to obtain a provisional 2-year visa, and you actually are going to be a resident for those 2 years, but you are not getting the permanent residency right away, which at the end it translates into more cost. You know, it's going to be more expensive. Now you have to spend time and money on complying with the requirements. And you know, in this video we are not touching those requirements. That's going to be for an extra video for another video that we will do later on. In this one, I just wanted to make that introduction that, you know, the Pensionado is currently the easiest, cheapest, and I have to make that point clear, is the cheapest way to obtain the permanent residency right away. There are other visa programs now that you can apply for that also provide the same type of results. But in this case, those are more expensive. But if you're a pensionado or retiree from anywhere, actually, you can apply for the permanent residency right away in Panama as long as you comply with the requirement. The first requirement you're going to have, it's a police record, a clean police record. And I stress that because if you do not have a clean police record, Panama does require those applicants to go through a process of visto bueno or pre-approval, and that needs to be done before you come to Panama and make your application. And if you are in those cases, let's say you had a misdemeanor or the charges were dismissed or dropped, then in some cases the Panamanian government will allow those people to obtain the residency in Panama, depending on the charges, basically. But as I said, as long as you have the clean police record, you're golden. The second requirement is you need to have a certificate from the government agency that is paying your pension, and the certificate needs to be from, and this is important, from a government agency or from a pension fund management company that is not managed by the applicant. That is important. It cannot be a self-managed pension. It has to be done through a professional company that pays the pension to you independently from you. So that is very important. And there are some requirements in those cases. If that is your case in which you are getting paid through let's say an insurance company, you have to obtain a copy of a certificate of incorporation of that insurance company, and that certificate needs to be apostille. And we have to provide the certificate of incorporation of the insurance company. We have to provide the certificate of your own pension and we'll go into the details of what needs to be said in that certification, but that is also required. And also you need to get a copy of bank statements in which you're getting the pension being paid by this private or professional company. If you're getting your pension through a government agency, like let's say Social Security, then you don't need to provide the certificate of incorporation, obviously, and you don't have to provide a bank statement where you're getting those pension fund payments into. So those are the requirements for the certificate, and in which cases you need to provide additional documents. But let's say you're getting the pension through, let's say, Social Security, you have to get that and it has to say that the pension it's for at least $1,000 or more, especially if you are planning on moving into Panama with your spouse. In those cases, the pension needs to be for $250 more than the $1,000. So if it's only you and your wife, it's going to be, the certificate needs to be for at least $1,250 for it to be approved by the Panamanian government. So as I mentioned, it needs to be a government agency. It needs to mention that it's $1,000 and that the pension is for life. Those are the requirements in general for the certificate. And as I touched at the beginning, if the certificate is provided through an insurance company or a bank institution or any private fund management company or professional management fund company, then that company needs to, or you need to procure a certificate of incorporation of that company. All those documents that I just mentioned, the police record and the certification of your pension, those documents, and including, and I'm talking about all the certificates, including the bank statement and the certificate of incorporation of the private insurance company. In those cases, all those three documents or two, they need to be apostille. And apostille means it's basically an international notary. And through the apostille, the Panamanian government, they will know that the documents are original and valid. So as I mentioned, those are the requirements for the pensionado visa. They are easy to obtain. And if you have further questions, you feel free to contact me. I'll be glad to help you. And one of the things that I always prefer my clients to do is to send me the documents beforehand, before they actually come to Panama. And the reason for this is because I need to revise them just to make sure that everything is done properly. And in some cases, it is important because if there's something that needs to be corrected, then you still have time to do it when you're home. And very important, something I almost forgot. The police record needs to be from a federal or state agency. I mean, it cannot be from a state, from, let's say, if you live in Florida or let's say in British Columbia in Canada, you cannot get a local police record. It needs to be, if it's from the US, it needs to be federal, so it has to be from the FBI. If it's from Canada, it has to be from the Royal Mountain Police. So it cannot be from a local or communal or community or a sheriff office. That is to be clear. It needs to be from the main government or federal. You know, that needs to be very, very clear. It cannot be from any local police station or something like this where you live. It needs to be from the main government agency that handles justice, basically. Or, as I mentioned, like the FBI in the US or its equivalent in any other country. So, as I mentioned, if you have any questions or you're planning on coming to Panama, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to help you. And as I always say, when you decide to hire a lawyer locally, make sure that they are transparent and they provide all the fees for the visa. And one of the best things about the retiree or pensionado visa, it's for the government, they do not charge anything. They actually want to become a spot for foreigners to actually come to Panama, what they call in the US snowbirds. You know, if you're planning on not living in the US and you want to live in a place with a very cool weather or not so cold as in the US, Panama will be a great option, actually, especially if you decide to live in a place like Boquete, which is a place well known among expats for retirees. So, as I said, If you have any questions or would like to get more information on the process for obtaining your permanent residency in Panama, feel free to contact me. I'll be glad to help. Thank you. And always remember to subscribe and to smash the like button. Thank you.